Craig leave.
Yeah, get the hell out of here, Craig.
Alrighty, fellas. Episode 5 of the GameChatR podcast. Topic of the day. One we have hinted at a little bit here and there. I've wanted to. I think Dakota's a big fan of it. Brandon's a big fan of it. We're going to cover horror games and all their horror nastiness without the gore. I think we're going to cover some of our first horror games. Ones we like, ones we don't like. Horror games that we think are terrible, and everything in between. But first, cover around our what we did in the week. Anything fantastic, or what have you played worth noting? Brandon, how's it on WoW? And if you touched anything else, because I know you played something else.
Actually, I didn't play much WoW this week. Mainly Tony Hawk's. It finally came out. I've been addicted to it. I've been playing so much multiplayer on it, which is weird because I hate multiplayer. I can't get enough. I'm over here giggling. My wife is annoyed by all my giggling because these kids think I'm just some jabroni and I'm throwing up these million scores. I played that. A couple things of Madden. Not much else. It's been a pretty quiet week.
Okay. How's about you, Grizzly?
Right on.
Cody?
Yeah, so again, I've been talking about it. I've been hyped up for it. Iron Harvest came out on the 1st, on the 3rd. I already forgot. I've been playing it. The campaign's all that I wanted. It actually has a story for an RTS. The mechs feel heavy. They just get up in there on the front line. They tear shit up. Love the way it feels. Love the way it looks. But one of my favorite parts is in the campaign. There's a setting to where you can have it to where all the dialogue is of the native tongue of that country, or you can have it in English. So it has English subtitles, but they talk in their native tongue, so it's super immersed. I'm so into it. Haven't played any multiplayer. Heard it's been which is usual for most RTSs until like a meta is formed or until a basic strategy is created. But I've been playing that, and it's been nice. Staying on the campaign, and it's nice to just have a story right now. So I'm totally relating with Brandon on the whole story shebang.
Sweet, man. That sounds nice. I've been wanting to ask you about that game also because I haven't played RTS in a while, and I really liked Red Alert like we talked about before. As for me, I haven't touched Spiritfarer in a while. That's what I was playing. And I was playing the demo of Tony Hawk's for a little bit. I have some kerfuffle with my Microsoft stuff, so I can't play Tony Hawk's right now, even though I got it and I have the bill for the payment. It's legit. It all happened. It's real, and I can't do it. So it could be on like my internet's end or something funky like that. But I haven't been able to play Tony Hawk's yet ever since I was 12 or whatever when it was on 64. So that's still exciting and waiting for that. Lots of freaking work and school stuff. I installed a Venahood today. Got a Venahood from work, like super cheap, and I took our old one off, put a new one on. It was not as simple as like a 5-picture diagram. I had to put this in 5 steps. Sweet. Took me a good portion of the day, but nothing else exciting. All fun. Getting here with the audio. How's the sound on the Iron Harvest, Dakota? I mean, because like you said with the mechs, it sounded really cool and like steamy with like the mechs and stomping around and stuff like that.
Yeah. Some mechs can just run through buildings. They'll leave prints on the ground where they stomp if they're heavy enough. Something I do like is when they like die, like their remains will like crash on the ground, and you can go and scavenge it and get like metals and resources from it. So that's pretty cool. So it's like if you build a whole bunch of mechs and you fight and they die, well now if your opponent's good, they can like go and like scavenge it and just benefit from it. And like it's all like artillery, like you have to have angles and everything that matters. Dude. And it's nice. All 3 factions are pretty unique. So
speaking of sound, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater music is phenomenal. It's a blast from the 90s. I mean, obviously you have Superman from Goldfinger. You have Worlds Collide from...
That's the song I relate to it.
Oh, Power Man
5000.
Yes, Power Man 5000.
It's amazing. I feel like I'm a kid again hearing these songs.
Uh,
So
yes. I even playing the demo Yeah, playing the demo, they had some of the songs in the first like map again. I was like,
Oh, the warehouse. It's
know.
a classic.
yeah, yeah. And isn't that again? I haven't played it yet, but I forgot all about it until I played it. And I was like, oh, this is you can get up here, and then after you get something else, you like break through like the wall. And there's a helicopter outside, right?
No, that's the hangar, the helicopter.
Oh well, dag nabbit.
Hey,
suck.
hey,
All
they're
right, well,
pretty much the same level, but the hangar's like the warehouse of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. So it's in the game though.
oh, okay, okay. I'm there. Enough. All right. We do have some exciting news though to cover. Dakota, fill us in on a question we had from a listener.
Yeah, so a listener reached out to us. Is actually one of my old friends from school, Mario Torres, and he asked a really good question. He said, I've always wanted to get back into gaming. I've never been able to. Do you guys recommend any games or consoles for me to get hooked? Mario, if you're listening, I miss you, man. Hope you're doing well. And this is a great question. How do you... We can go about this.
This is
Something...
this is pretty perfect because we all are we come from different walks of life about the gaming world. You know, I just play casual for fun here and there a little bit. Brandon's kind of more. Both of y'all have like different sides of the PC stuff. Brandon's more story. Dakota's more PvP, quick things. So what? I don't know. When y'all go first? What do you think? Something that's out now that's kind of quick, fun to pick up.
I think a golden game that everyone can relate to is Skyrim. It's a great fantasy. So many people have played it. It's solo player. It's great experience. I would recommend Skyrim to anybody. I think it's got everything you would want to play on a solo adventure. That would be my recommendations for Skyrim.
Nice. I guess it depends on the console too. We don't know if you just that or just PC or anything, so that changes things up. I don't know, Brandon, what you got?
I think it really just depends what kind of story you're looking for. There's so many good games. It's hard to think of just one. But if I had to pick one game off the top of my head, I'm stalling right now if you can't tell. There's a BioShock collection with the first...
It's a big head.
Hey, BioShock collection has the first 3 games in it. Those are masterpiece games. That's the first one I would start with. And see what element you liked of it, and go find other games that suits that element. And a good Google search will tell you everything you want to find for that part.
Right. It's such a vast, like, we received this question, and again, thank you, Mara, for reaching out. Oh my gosh, it opens up such a doorway to, different fields. What kind of, system or console, what kind of aspects do you like, old school, new school, whatnot? You say in the collection, which I believe BioShock's from 2K, and they have a 2K collection that I had that had like XCOM 1, BioShock 1, and Borderlands 1 or something. But that's a fantastic, but that was the 360. So that's kind of, unless you still have a 360 rock and rolling like I do, I would get that. I would suggest, from my field of knowledge, on Xbox, and you don't have to have Game Pass. It's completely free. You can go into the marketplace. It's called Minion Masters, and it is it's kind of like almost like a card game, and like a MOBA put together. So it's there's 2 lanes. You're over here. Your opponent, it's PvP. Your opponent's on the other side, and there's only 2 lanes, and you have your deck of cards, which ranges. It's not very many. And your hero is you, and they have their special perks. But anyway, you try to destroy their tower they're standing on, and they destroy yours, and they send people over each side of the bridges. And if you control one bridge, pretty much whoever has walked over it last owns it. You get like more points. Anyway, it's really fast. It's friendly. It's totally free if you have an Xbox. That's what I would. From what I know, it's been. Like I said, you don't even have to have Game Pass. It's easy to pick up and play. Yeah, depending on what you like.
I wanted to bring that up too because it does ask like what console. I think the best console right now, if you're not sure what you want, is the Xbox, and it's because the Game Pass. I think there's over 100 games now on it, and they're always updating it.
Yeah,
there's such
all the time
a wide variety. If you don't like this game, cool, throw it away. Go grab another one. It's perfect for a new person. I do believe that PlayStation has the better exclusives, but if you're not too sure, you may not even get into it again. Game Pass is the way to go because you can cancel it if you don't want it. That's my suggestion on the console.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice. Yeah. But yeah, again, thank you, Mario. I hope that didn't confuse you too much and help just a little bit with things that are, new or old. There's so many things you can cover. I have like a little crate full of old systems and things. But okay, let's dive on into the terrifying force that is the horror game aspects that we're going to try to touch and run with here. And it's not even set side. We just kind of picked horror games in general. So I think we're going to cover ones the all front to the back to the in between, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the gruesome. What's the first thing that comes to your mind, Dakota, when we say horror game? Go.
Slender Man.
Nice.
Slender Man. When that came out, it was pretty much available for most people. Didn't take a lot for to run on a computer, and it was brilliant. It was simple. You had to find these pages, and this creepypasta Slender Man was after you. It sucked. I hated it. I remember playing it. When we were all playing, we would take turns and turn the lights off and see how far we could get, and we would scream. That's a good one. That's a classic one at this point. It's been around for a while, and that started the big, pasta or jump scare, find pages stuff. It's a big staple for modern scary games.
I'm so glad you started with that. Brandon.
I think the obvious
Speaking,
is Resident
I was
Evil.
going to say yes, because I just recently thought about Slender Man when we talked about this topic, but do you remember? I'm sure you do. I have footage of this, guys. I'll have to get the clip out of it. I don't think I ever posted it on YouTube. I'll have to look for it. A long ponce of time ago, whenever we all lived together or Brandon and I lived in an apartment together, and Slender Man came out, and I had a recording of me playing it, him playing it, my wife now, and then I think we had my wife's friend play it too. And it was just for that I tried to make a funny scare video of it. But there's young Brandon baby face in there somewhere, and he's just scary. Yeah. Oh, I'll have to grab that. But that was yes, Dakota. Slender Man was cool until you played it enough to figure out kind of how it worked. I was told once that he only comes out on left turns or something like that. So pretty much if you keep walking straight, the screen will start fuzzing and shaking and stuff and getting loud, but you won't because you have to look at him or something. But anyway, that was a cool game. All right, Brandon, you're diving off into the deep end with Resident Evil, which is everybody's. Yeah.
I think this is a good thing about it, though. There's some terrible Resident Evil games. I'm talking to you, Resident Evil 6. It's terrible, but it's most of the good ones. They're a little bit different. They all kind of cover a little bit different horror elements, even though they're all zombies. But I remember as a little kid watching my uncle play it, and there's these when you would walk upstairs, it would go dark, and you just see stairs and make the noise of you climbing them. It was the most creepiest thing I've ever seen.
And the doors
too, the creaking and creak. It was so scary, and that was the first scary game I ever seen. I was like, I don't want to touch those. Those are terrible. 10 years later, then I finally did, and I started loving them. But Resident Evil is the OG of horror games.
Yeah, I agree. I literally have my notes. So I was going through stuff trying to remember this game, put this down. And that's of course Resident Evil. And then I remembered Resident Evil. It's one of my first horror game memories at a friend's house, and his dad was playing it on the PS1. And this is one of the iconic scenes. I think it's number 2. It's the main one. I think when Nemesis comes out and stuff.
That's number 3.
But in number 3, if it's that, anyway, you're in the mansion area. It's the one they recently remade, I think.
Keep going.
But anyway, yeah. So there's a part in a hallway, and that was the most difficult thing ever was the camera angles that they threw at you, because you would just open a door and I hope you're ready to look up your shirt. And because the camera's coming from under the table, and you're just walking by for 2 seconds, and it's bam, back over here on top of your right shoulder, and it's weird. But
that's half the reason why it was scary.
Yes, that too, because it would have a weird angle, and you're like, "What's that?" And you hear a noise, and "What's that?" And you can't tell where it's coming from. But that's really cool. You're going down a hallway, and I think it's storming. You're going past the window, and then a dog jumps through the window, and just like hops in,
Yep.
and it's like real loud, and you're like, fuck. It's like it might be one. It's like one of the first enemies you have to fight too. That freaking jump scare. Oh my gosh! Like obviously, I still remember it today. It's one of the most iconic like scenes. And it was that, and then anytime we come over, his dad played at night, and the puzzles were really cool too. But it was so intense. That was great. Yeah, Resident Evil has so many fans.
That was Resident Evil 2. It is a police station.
2. Okay, I was
You're in
right.
a police
Okay.
station.
Yep,
Yeah.
That was a jump scare right there. That was a solid one. That one sucked.
Yes, I think that's the same area of the police station where you fight your first liquor or one of the liquor like bosses,
Yep.
and you're walking and you see him like crawl across the glass on the outside, and
those
then
things.
later he breaks through and you have to fight him with his long tongue and stuff. Yeah, the feels. Oh, the feels. Gosh.
Right
What's
on.
what's a recent game that you've played, a horror game that you've liked, kind of sucked up into? Because I know mine.
Recent horror game.
It's
We talked about it before on an earlier episode.
I know I'm sticking with the Resident Evil, but I just got done playing. I'll say it's been a year, but Resident Evil 7 on VR. That was so scary.
Right, and that's exactly what. Yeah, so yeah.
And the game starts off.
Since we talked about that before.
It kind of starts off like you're in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre little thing, where you're in like a rundown house with this family, and
Yeah.
with the crazy thing with the VR, you know, when you get scared, you would like look at your hand something in real life. Okay, it's just a screen. I'm not freaking out. But in VR, you look and you're just looking around the house. You're like, oh my god, I'm actually in this. He's chasing me. I gotta run. That game is so amazing. I think that was the last one I played. The horror game. Actually, I played Resident Evil 3 a couple months ago. They just released that one, but that one's not too scary. Those are. I can't think of any other scary games I played recently besides those.
Right, and
I
that's
guess,
exactly. Go ahead.
Recently, I did re-download Doom 3, which was like
Hey.
originally came out on Xbox, I believe, original.
Yes. Yes.
And from the older Dooms, it changed like the scene. It was scary
Yeah.
when it first came out. Enemies would pop out left and right all around you. There was jump scares. The shadowing, so dark.
It was
I hated
very
there
dark.
There was one part where you had to follow this dude that had a lantern, and it was the only light in this entire level, and you had to follow him, and things would come out of nowhere, and like the floors would drop, and stuff would chase you. I remember Doom being like one of the first, like when I was growing up, trying to like, I want to play horror games, I want to do it, but I'm so scared, but I'm gonna try Doom. I'll try Doom, and I loved it. It was a good one. It's also one, a lot of memories when I was younger is watching my brother play horror games, and I would just watch, and it would, I have multiple horror game experiences I could talk about, trying to watch behind a pillow my brother play games.
Yeah, Dune 3 was fantastic for me. One of the first like games that a horror game that I actually really played myself, and one of my few games that I ever beat. But I learned after a while, I wasn't getting as scared as much, of course, because it's a lot of jump scares, but it still brings you. It's still a shooting, so you can fight back. So once to a point, you're like, I got a shotgun, I got some ammo, but it still doesn't stop. It's quiet, and you're walking down a small corridor, and a freaking body just falls out of the freaking ceiling just cause. You're like, you developers are sucking ass. But that was a fun game, and I learned to, if it looks bad, there's something good there. There's a point in that game where you're, it's pretty far down, but it's like I think it's the first time you find the BFG, and like you like look to your right, like all right, that looks, it's blood and stuff there, and you look to your left, and it's like a strobing red light. It's super dark, and it's like gnarly looking, and like, oh well, my first thought, or everyone's like, oh hell no, but why is this here? And I have this problem with any game or Skyrim or anything big or small. Like, I want to go see what they took time to develop over here. Thankfully, that game, it's like it's level based pretty much. So you can discover each thing and go in there, and you go down there, take a left, and if it looked worse, there was better reward for that game. But that was really fun. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Doom 3. That was one of my first like loves of a horror game.
The only thing I don't like about that game is you're in a spaceship or whatever, a space station. You have this badass guns and all that, this little flashlight. You tell me there's no duct tape where you can tape that flashlight to that gun? Because if you pull your gun out, you got to put your flashlight up. and vice versa. You can only have one at a time.
So he has two hands,
Yeah.
right?
Why can't you put the flashlight on the gun? This is like in the future. We have that now.
That's true. There's so many points, and I didn't until I started again getting into audio and like thinking more on the development side of stuff for games. But like sometimes it's not like they did it on purpose, kind of a situation because you want that, Like, well, I have to have my flashlight out, but then I have to change my gun. Like they don't want you to be able to see when you're shooting. There is I hated this, but sound didn't necessarily matter. Like you couldn't make a lot of noise and monsters or bad guys would find you on Outlast, which is one of my favorite scary games. I have so many memories of playing that back when I lived in like a little camper trailer. That's such a good scary game. But if that guy like fell or you had to like jump and he would like grab a ledge, it was the loudest point in the entire game. It'd be quiet, and you're like, "Oh God, there's a bad guy around the corner. Oh shit, this board's squeaky. Let me jump past it." And it's supposed to break, but as soon as it breaks, and this is an aspect of the sound design, and they're smart because you're all tense. You're all tense, and the last thing you want to do is make noise. And it breaks, and your guy grabs a ledge, and he's like, "Oh, oh, oh," and but yes, Outlast. Outlast is one of my favorite.
I like
scary games.
I liked on Outlast when you would get to an area and you're like, okay, this is the only way I can go. I know as soon as I go this way, like a little small hole, something's going to jump at me. You know it's
Shit's
coming.
going down. Yeah.
You know it's coming. And as soon as it happens, you're like, wait, why did I jump? I knew it was there.
You're like, sure, I knew it. I'm smart. I'm crying. But yes, and the big like driving other like fear of that game was the recorder, because you had to record. So then you could kind of see anyway. It's dark. And now you're looking through like a camera, so it has like the night vision, which makes everything ever in the world ever look more scary. So super smart, and it was so good.
I think we've all experienced this with any horror game we play. You're playing through the game, it's kind of in the beginning, you're walking through blah blah, and it tells you how to look behind you. The moment it tells you how to look behind you or sprint, something's about to happen. Like, I'm about to have to use this. I'm about to look behind me. I never want to look behind me. I don't care. I'm not looking behind me. Don't tell me that. I'm about to sprint. Well, someone's about to chase my ass. Every time it gets me.
That's so good. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Anytime in a game, whether it's horror or not, there's a point in that game too. I don't know if it's number 1 or 2. I'm sure it does both. But yeah, you're like going down an alley or a hallway of the building, and it's like to look over your shoulder, push this button. Like, and then you hear some shit going on behind you. You're like, no. Like, what was the sprint
again? I'm hauling. I'm running, man.
You could
when
also,
you hit the first save station, it's like, well, it's about to go down.
Yeah, and that lines up also with like any in any other game too, with like a boss battle. You're like, sure, there's a hell of a lot of health around here. Some ammo too. A save point. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What could be behind this gigantic door?
As soon as you see that, you're like, oh boy, I better save it. This is about to get real.
Yeah, you save a couple files. Yeah.
I think horror games have one of the most unique save stations, ways to save. Like there's like it's like a phone. I know some of them have like a phone.
Yeah.
Dead Space was like some kind of like chamber thing.
Yeah.
Alien Isolation was a like key card slot. I think horror games when it comes to saving was pretty unique. Like Resident Evil had rooms, right? A whole safe rooms.
Well, number 7 was a tape player.
Right, the tape player, but in the originals, it was a room. It was a safety room, whatever. But it was a typewriter.
Oh, the ribbon. Type ribbon. Yeah.
If you play on harder difficulties or some, the older versions, you had to have like the typewriter ink to be able to save it.
Yes.
What? Wow. I did not
know
that.
What a bag of dicks. Yeah. Like, man, you're sure in a tight spot, but you wish you could save. You can't turn the game off.
You got no ink, boy.
One thing I noticed on these newer scary games, they're doing like a big enemy that's chasing you through the whole game. I noticed Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake did it, and I noticed even 7 remake 7 Biohazard did it. That seems to be the next big thing where you don't ever have time to just breathe because as soon as you start breathing, turn around, and the guy's chasing you with the chainsaw or shotgun, and you're so rushed. Like, if my thing I need is here, but this guy's chasing me, so you got to run all the way around the building, trying to get away from
Yeah.
that guy. I think that's the new crave, and I'm really liking it. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping the pace up for sure is something. Okay, we'll get into. I think I wrote this down for questions to ask you people. Did I do my side of my homework to myself? I make rules and goals for myself. That way, I don't have to complete all of them. If I need to complete some of them, I feel
So
better. And that's the key in
While
life.
you're looking it up, fun fact: Resident Evil in Japan is really called Biohazard. Now you know.
Really?
Oh. Huh.
I feel like I've heard that
Did not know
before.
that.
I should have heard that before. Anyway, okay, so perfect. So Outlast and Resident Evil, horror games, fantastic, but they are different because do you prefer? And I kind of mentioned this in an earlier podcast as well. Would you prefer a horror game, or do you think which one's scarier when you can fight back? You're like, shit. Oh, I found some ammo. Yeah, 3 bullets, 1 shotgun for this gun. Or like, you can kind of fight back. Or do you like a game where you have to run, and but it's almost not fair sometimes because you just run into a room like they can kill you. Why can't I kill? I can't fight back at all. I gotta run, or I gotta hide, or what? Do you have a preference, or what do you prefer? Kind of that Outlast style or Resident Evil style?
Man, I'm pretty torn. I would almost want a mixture of both, but when it comes to like me, the scare factor is when I can't fight back. Because for me personally, my scariest moment is when there's something right behind me and I hear it getting louder and I hear it getting closer. I just get so tense. Just go, run. Oh my God, run. And that's what gets me the most. So when I can't fight back, usually in Outlast is when my feet are stomping. Is when I'm scared as hell.
It's fun because I agree both of them are great. I like both ways. But one thing I really liked about Resident Evil 2 is, and there's a couple other games do this, is you're supposed to be able to fight back, but they don't give you enough bullets or something. So it's like, oh, this guy needs 5 headshots, but you only have 4 bullets. So it's on the other way, okay, if I run away, I'll be safe. I'll get past this. But when you have to fight back and you don't have enough resources to fight back, so you have to either fight, run. So you have to make these split decisions on what are you going to do.
Right.
I find that scary, and your adrenaline just keeps rushing.
That does add a good layer. It's a whole nother layer of drama, in giving choice when you have a choice. You're right. So Outlast, there's not much of a choice. You run. You get spotted, go run, go hide under a bed or something like that. So that has its own aspect of scariness and horror and knowing you can't fight back. But you're right, with Resident Evil, you have the option. Could I fight? Should I? I had that with number 7, which I loved. There was times where like there's so many bad guys and stuff, and you're like, do you fight back now? Like, this is such a hard spot. Am I wasting my ammo? What's around the next corner? It does provoke more thought, there is strategy to that. So that's a really good point. I don't know. It's 2 different games.
I think something we talk about, like how games have changed over the years. The AI of horror games has gone through such strides. In my opinion, one of the scariest games I've ever played, I've never beaten, is Alien Isolation. Very terrifying. The AI in that game is way above its time. It is so smart. The game is so scary. I think it's been out for quite a bit now, and I still wouldn't play it.
Oh my gosh.
That's one that I can't play it, dude. It's so scary.
I was looking for another horror game, and I had recently built myself up some beef with Evil Within, because at the point when that came out, there hadn't been a lot of horror games out yet, and I'm a horror fan. And that game came out. That was like the last game I pre-ordered, honestly. I was so pumped for that game. I played it hardcore, and whenever it came out a few years back, and I got to a point where, again, you may have picked up in other podcasts, where some shit happens, I kind of quit. And the zombie or the bad guys in that game started having guns. and they were shooting me, and I was like, what? That's kind of crappy. And I got shot through like a wall or something I was hiding in, and it was difficult. I'm pretty sure I was close to beating it, but that did it for me. It totally ruined it for me. It wasn't necessarily as scary. It changed from that the horror to me to kind of like just like a zombie action game. That made me mad.
Right.
But yes, oh my gosh, Alien Isolation. Our buddy gave me that game because he was done playing it. He's like, I'm not beating this. This is ridiculous, and it is known for one of like the hardest games. There is a little
Yeah.
not necessarily a side game. It's like it's just a scenario. You can pick different scenarios pretty much, and it's like you start off here, go find this thing to unlock this door and get out. Not the story, but the same thing. That it's awesome because it has the movie behind it, so people have the history a little bit. But it is that thing's way too big to be way too quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. If y'all are looking for a challenging horror game, Alien Isolation is definitely my recommendation. The AI is adaptive. It's ridiculous. You can fight back, but you don't even want to get to that point. If you're fighting back, you're probably dead.
So speaking of different games, my mother-in-law, shout out Samantha, she loves horror games too, and she's loving this game called 7 Days to Die. Have y'all played that?
I've
7
heard of it.
days?
Yes, yeah.
No.
So every 7 days, I've never actually played this, but she tells me about it. Every 7 days, a horde of zombies will attack your base, and I really think
Oh, yes, I have heard of that.
she
Okay.
really likes the aspect of like you got 7 days to get this stuff done, and it kind of has like a Minecraft building element to it. So I really like how horror games have really broadened the scope. Like my son plays Granny. If y'all have heard of that,
I've heard of
That's a
it.
scary mobile
and
game.
he loves it. He can't get enough of it. But I mean, obviously to me, it's a little childish, but I just the amount of horror games now are just tripling in so many different things, and there's almost a subgenre inside of horror games now, where whatever
Right.
scares you the most, there's something that will play for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right up there with like why do people like spicy food? You like it. It gets your blood going. People like scary games, people like scary movies. So what would make a scary movie more scary? Maybe if you could freaking live through it and make the decisions yourself. So God, scary games bring it. They bring it all. They have a huge. That's why we've got this whole topic for this episode kind of based around this thought. I'm sure we're gonna miss things that we're gonna wish we could bring back. But yeah, so we talked about Alien Isolation. I wanted to talk about. I think this was free on Xbox. It was just not gruesome, not necessarily jump scares or terrifying. There's a couple games that like to pull the mind game on you when you're playing it, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Did either one of y'all play Layers of Fear?
No, I really wanted
I
to.
just watched the video on it the other day. It looked really cool.
Yeah, I've seen a playthrough through it, and I wish I would have played it instead of watched it be played.
Yeah, it's I think it was free on Xbox a while back or so, but and I was like, oh, a horror game, I'll try it out, and it's like that. It's not necessarily scary. It's kind of some puzzle stuff going on, some storyline going through. It's not super long, and you're pretty much, spoiler alert, if you're going to play this game, skip ahead a handful of minutes, but you're like a painter. And each end of each pretty much level, you finish back at your room where you have this canvas and you add more to it. So each level you're kind of figuring out, what the heck am I painting? And I think if I remember correctly, it is weird. It's a trippy game. It's like you that you're painting, but your face is gone, and you've like tore yourself up, and you just like you're crazy in your big old house, and man, it's wild.
It's
a
definitely
wild game.
immersive.
So
Yeah, there's I remember. What?
I've seen this other game. It's not even a game. It's a teaser. Have y'all ever heard of PT?
I have heard of it. I don't know
Oh.
anything about
So
it.
it's a walking trailer, pretty much for. It was supposed to be a Silent Hill game, but then they got canceled it when who's the head guy of like all those big games like Evil Within and stuff. Konami, the head guy at
Dakota would
Konami,
know.
whatever.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Kojima
yeah,
guy.
he
that
was
left?
supposed to
That-
come
yeah.
back and help make the Silent Hill game, and ended up not making it. And they ended up taking PT off the Play Store, so you can't even get it no more. But
Oh, wow.
everyone that seems to play this have said it's the scariest game you can play, and it's only like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but nothing comes close to it.
Oh,
And
I do remember what you're
and
talking
it's just a shame that it's not even available no more. Kojima was on it. The Toro was helped making the script. It looked amazing. I watched a couple plays through PT. They need to bring it back just to be able to, so people can just play that little teaser part, because everyone got hyped for Silent Hill for it. Another OG like Resident Evil that just doesn't get its due like it should nowadays.
Yep, I remember Silent Hill is another big one that I'd never played. I heard all about it. You know, you got like classic villains like the Pyramid Head, and it was huge. And I never got to play it. That's something I missed out on when it comes to horror game experience. Any of y'all? Did y'all ever play Silent Hill?
I remember playing the old one. I more watched people play because I was young and it's so scary. You're
Yeah.
like looking for his son.
Same
and,
thing.
And that's all I remember. But I remember being so freaked out because there was all this fog. It was pretty cool, but I was so young. I was like, I gotta stay away from these games.
Right, same thing. I remember watching people play it. I myself never got to really like play it and get into it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, everyone knows about it. It's like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and yeah, it was something I wish I could have kind of got into at that time. Taking it off a little tangent here, scary stuff in general. And is there any games y'all have played before that weren't meant to be necessarily a scary game, but had a really good moment, or something that comes to mind?
Well, we mentioned Brennan mentioned it earlier. I was actually really scared of BioShock 1. The intro to BioShock 1 was scary, man. When you finally like got up, I remember is the beginning. You go up in the elevator, you enter this big room, and there's like this person like crying for help, running from someone, and they just get tore up, and the thing that tore them up like looks at you and then jumps away. A whole bunch of stuff bangs, and then your door opens, and then you have to get out. And I'm not moving. That got me. I thought that was a really good intro. I thought
Yes.
it was meant to be scary, but the rest of the game wasn't too scary. That would probably be a pick for me. BioShock 1.
Nice. Yeah, there's definitely some creepy aspects about it. It kind of touches on a little phobia of mine, which I was going to talk about, Subnautica. I do not like open, deep water. And BioShock is all underwater, so it has that immense like feeling to it already. But Subnautica, if anyone's ever played that, is pretty much
I'm so scared of Subnautica.
oh god, it's how could I explain this to someone? It's like all water, and you crash land in this new world, and pretty much you just have to. It's almost all underwater. You can get out above sea level. I think there's a little island at some point, but you're pretty much going underwater. You can build a base underwater. You have to either kill weird fish or collect things to create stuff. You can have like a little underwater mech guy that goes and finds things, but there's some gigantic fish, and they're scary. I don't like open water, and they're kind of, it's just vast stuff. There's a scene, you'll know it. There's a scene in Finding Nemo where I think after they get out of the current, it's like him and Dory, and they're just out in the ocean like, oh, which way do we go? And it's when before she starts speaking well. But that scene where it shows just like the open ocean and the well is like way off in the distance, and it's just like that feeling of like you're like there's just nothing around there, and you're in the wrong atmosphere. Like that thing is huge, it's coming this way. Oh, I hate that. So yeah, Finding Nemo and Subnautica, terrifying. But I don't know if we any other old favorite horror games or something that crossed your minds when we were bringing this up.
We were talking about a second ago. Anything with spiders, I was freaked out. I remember even playing.
Oh, that's right.
I was playing WoW when I was a little kid, and there was these spiders. I was trembling. I hate spiders. So if I ever meet any of you guys, y'all show me a spider, we'll throw hands.
There's one of the first main kind of quest parts in Skyrim. When you get to the first town, you have to go get the golden claw out of that cave, and there's that bad guy tied up in a web. You have to cut him out, and he runs across like 2 of the other room or something, and a spider comes down from the ceiling. My wife also does not like spiders, and she could not play that game because of that part. And it was so early on in the game. Either I would have to like get through the kill the spider for her, or she just go off and go collect other crap or do something else. But spiders is a kind of a constant for some people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fact check. It's thalassophobia is the fear of creepy vastness of large bodies of water.
The
yeah.
what?
Thalassophobia?
Thalassophobia? Question mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good to know it's a real thing.
You're not alone.
Jeez. Oh yeah, so we've covered some pretty solid things here. Silent Hill, Resident Evil. Let me see. Oh yes, no. Go ahead. Sorry.
I remember amongst the games that I grew up watching you play, Condemned was, I think, very underrated in the horror game community.
Yes.
It had, I think, one of the famous features was one, there was a bear scene where you had to fight a bear in this log cabin. The other one was when you're in. I know
what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
That's my only part I remember.
The mannequins.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And if y'all haven't played Condemned, well, this is pretty much you were going through this building, and there's a whole bunch of mannequins, and the moment you turned around or moved, you turned back, they're right there. They only moved when you didn't look at them, and it was freaky.
Yes, that game was definitely an unsung hero of mine. I wrote that down last second to try to remember this. I'm so glad you brought it up. Yes, the first 2 thoughts I had was the mannequin area level, and then the bear at the end. So yeah, the mannequin thing is I think you see a couple on that level, and when you go into a room, there's a couple more, and you're looking for clues or whatever it is. I think you play as a cop trying to figure out this freaky murder or something, and you turn around, there's more, and you do something, and they're right there, and you're no other game is kind of doing the mind stuff like that too at that point. And then at the end, one of the end parts are in a cabin, and there's a bear, and it's trying to get into you, so it kind of changes it. It's not so much just mental mind, what the heck's going on game. It's just a bear, a huge bear trying to get in and get you. That was a really cool game. I dug that game hardcore, dude. I had another oh, that's freaking right. Freaking Dead Space.
Oh,
love Dead Space.
Classic.
Yeah, I hadn't. This is literally less than 4 months ago. I beat this game finally. I didn't have much to play like I do because I'm picky and I don't know what I want. And I went to half price games. What's that? Game Exchange. Sorry, not half price books.
Oh,
No, Game Exchange.
Game Exchange.
Yeah, and got Dead Space 1. Loved it. Oh my gosh. I even did a sound redesign for the railgun for my audio stuff. But yeah, Dead Space 1 was fantastic. And I remember getting Dead Space 2, and I barely played it. I just, if I don't play something for 3 days, then I'm done pretty much. And I can't just hop back in. But Dead Space 1.
I remember when we played Dead Space 2. That was a good one.
Yes.
I think, was that a midnight release for us or no? I remember playing it really late, and we played Dead Space 2. And that's my favorite one out of the 3, was number 2.
I'll have to get number 2 soon.
Had the exploding babies.
Yeah.
That was not okay.
For sure. Dead Space was awesome. All right, guys. I think we've covered most of the extent of my knowledge of what I like and everything for the horror games. Brandon, Dakota, anything else to touch on before we kind of dive into a little bit of news and esports, whatever's going on, and then we've got of course, a good old dandy quiz at the end here.
No, pretty much like we say it often. If whatever kind of thing you like, there's something out there for it. And we're talking about even horror now has its own subcategories. If there's a way you like to be scared, because it is thrilling, it can be fun. There's a game out there that fits what you enjoy, and those were just some that we really like. There's plenty out there. If you're nervous about doing it, I recommend doing it. It's like a roller coaster. Of course it's going to be scary. Of course it's high. But once you actually do it, and I think the reward in horror games is so nice because you went through so much to get to that next save point, to beat that boss, to get, oh, I got this new gun. It's really rewarding, and I recommend trying a few horror games.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Whatever you see out there, grab it or get it. Yeah, go buy a 360 really cheap, or go buy an Xbox original real cheap. Get Doom 3, then get a 360. Or get a PlayStation and go play Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The next one's a build up that way, because that's kind of something like horror is horror. Like you could play a shooting game, and the guns and stuff will change during the times. Versus if it's like a Medal of Honor or a time situation kind of based shooting game. But scary is scary.
Well, we didn't.
There's all kind of different aspects.
One thing we kind of talked about, we didn't talk about too much. The audio in horror games. I'm not even the audio guy. Frank is, but it's so important. It's probably the most important thing on a horror game is how good they do the audio, how good they make the sound is when they raise the volume, when they lower it, the creepy music. Man, you gotta go play it. I prefer headphones. Turn it dark. I guarantee you'll get scared in one of these games we mentioned, if not all of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. When I played Resident Evil 7 here recently, I had to have headphones on. It changes the game. They focus a lot on audio stuff because it does play into you will subconsciously, if there's like around 3 seconds of silence, you will notice your body, your mind will change, and developers will purposely do things for that. Make something quiet for a second, and it's around that time where you think, what's changed? Something's different. Oh yeah, it's quiet. And then boom, something will jump out or something big. They play off these things, making things sound closer than they are. Like Dakota, like you mentioned, like running. You can see something coming, like, oh, I got to get back to the other room. No, they purposely make it sound like it's right behind you, running closer. They'll pan sound left to right to make it like it's intense. It's really, audio does get a chance to shine, because it goes from escalation, from fighting a monster and running away, to like quiet stuff, and you're creeping through an old house, and the boards are creaking, and all you can hear is the crazy ass chick around the corner like whispering to herself, trying to find you, and you're like, fuck this. Yeah, so audio definitely has a chance to shine when it comes to some horror stuff. Definitely play with the headset on, like Brandon mentioned. Yeah, please find it. Join in on the Discord. We'll have that below. Send us an email. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff at GameChatR. Just Game Chat with an R at the end. Tell us what you think. Something we missed, something you love, hate. I think we're covering this, guys. We're ready to dive into esports and news. Feeling savvy? Hot and bothered? Okay, bothered and hot we are. Dakota, what I thought I saw something I was going to add and be cool and try to join on your esports love here, but I don't know. Go ahead, enlighten me.
So September hit. We got a lot of stuff going on, but probably the biggest thing for me is, y'all know I'm a big league player, and it's been going down. TSM is on the grind. August 23rd against Golden Guardians, they had a reverse sweep. They were in it. They had to win every game. August 29th against Cloud9, which was, I think, second seed. They got them 3-1. Okay, they're coming back. They still have to keep winning. They had a reverse sweep on Team Liquid, which was the first seed, on September 5th. And yesterday was FlyQuest and TSM. TSM got them 2-0, and then FlyQuest was coming back first. They were trying to reverse sweep. It was getting tense. They stopped playing around. They were going hard, focusing on team fight-oriented picks. And it came, like always, came down to one fight. That's all it took. And then TSM got it. We're going to Worlds, baby. We're in it. Super excited.
Heck, yes.
So ready for that. That's going to be coming up. I recommend looking at some replays. It's pretty intense. Casters were going wild. There was a huge something like for audio. It was live, and something had happened. Now the esports, sometimes they're playing at home. The players are playing at their own house. Okay. We had a player from FlyQuest lose their power for 1 hour. So they had to stop the game for an hour, and it was great. The shoutcasters were trying to talk as much as they could, but they couldn't hold it for an hour. They were talking for about 20 minutes, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna cut to they just did like replays of last game and all this stuff." But it was great. I love the podcasters for League. They were doing their best, and those guys get pretty intense. When it comes to, we got other pro plays and leagues going on around. The COD Pro League was August 29th, and we talked about it a few episodes ago that everything was going down. And the winner for the finals is none other than Dallas Empire. They brought it back. Good job, guys. Y'all deserve it. It was pretty nice. And then in the elimination rounds for Redemption, the long climb for Redemption, Chicago Huntsmen came out on top and got some pride back. They did really good. Overwatch playoffs began September 3rd, and we're in the final round now with Philadelphia Fusion boxing out with San Francisco Shock. It's going to be heated. It's going to be a butt clincher. I don't know if you've guys seen Overwatch League games, but they don't play. They get serious. It's intense. If you like quick, intense, easy to follow gameplay, Overwatch League is really nice to get into. It's pretty legit. The 9-5 Cup 4 for Counter-Strike took place today. We got bombs being planted, quick scopes happening, people getting upset. It was good, so we got some good CSGO going on. A lot of games, a lot of CSGO games. There's so many CSGO teams. There's a lot of gameplay. You can get it from anybody. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now towards when we're getting towards the end of the year. Some more notable events. We have Rocket League Season 10 is going on. The Valorant Invitational. So Valorant's still a pretty new game, but we're getting more set teams. Team rosters are pretty set in stone. New metas are being developed, and people are getting pretty good at that going on. PUBG Mobile Pro Fall Split.
Mobile.
I did not know PUBG had a mobile like team. Like they take it, but yeah, they're going. There's like I think the Vietnam series is going on right now, so that's some good stuff.
Wow.
Dota 2 Pro Series. I don't play Dota 2. I'm more on the league, but I know Dota 2 has some serious competitive scene, huge money involved, a lot of money going on with Dota 2. And the StarCraft 2 Masters 2020 is going on. They take it pretty serious. It's some good gameplay, it's good RTS. It's pretty much the competitive RTS when it comes. It's like in Korea, like over there, it's League of Legends, StarCraft. I think StarCraft is even more than League. It's so huge.
Dude, yes.
So yeah, there's competitive stuff going on anywhere. If there's a game that you want and you're trying to get competitive or you're trying to enjoy PvP, there's probably a game similar to it, and people are taking it to a competitive level. Some people don't like that, but some people do. There is the best way to play this way, and there's always something like that. If you guys are really enjoying a specific scene, go ahead and message us. We'll talk about it more on the show. I'll keep up with it as much as I can. And yeah, but something interesting that's been happening in esports that we figured out with the CS:GO is that there's been a cheating scandal that's going on for months. It appears that coaches have been able to spectate games and be in certain spots and give information to their players on live.
Oh my gosh.
And so because so many people are be able to do it from their own homes.
Yeah.
So like not all the security measures are available because they're not all in the same place. So sure enough, 3 coaches have been fired, like banned from competitive coaching for like 2 or 3 months. It's been going on for I think 8 months. There's been thousands of games that have been played. It's really hurting the competitive scene for them right now. They're trying to they're trying to filter through the games that have been played so they can pinpoint like what's been going on, who's been cheating, and it's pretty bad. So that's a huge thing that's going on. Other than that, that's going to be your your esports for the week.
Dude, you killed it. That was a massive drop of knowledge there for everything to keep up with. That was great. The freaking like I'm glad to hear that they caught them and they're breaking down. They're buckling down on that because that's something like if it goes unnoticed, but everyone kind of knows or thinks it's going on, it just disintegrates like a competitive and like the realty like the legitimacy of like the pro players and stuff like that. So sucks.
And
things will happen.
It's worrisome because other people are like, well, what other games have they been able to do this to? Like what if it happened with Valorant? What if it happened with like Rainbow Six? Because like not everything is more spread out now, so it's not, you can't perfectly control it. So other organizations are kind of getting worried. But that's kind of what's been going down like that. And thank you, Brandon, for bringing that up. That was his little information that he taught me about, and I just dug into it.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
All right. Well, goodness, some good heavy esports knowledge there. Thank you, sir. Brandon, is there any? I mean, we covered so much news with the last episode going over Gamescom, though. But anything worth repeating or talking about?
Yeah, there's just a few things, nothing much. NVIDIA, they coming out with the new graphic card series, the 30 series. They got the 3090, which is coming out at 1500. It's supposed to be able to run 8K, 60 frames per second.
Wow.
This is a big boy. It's a big boy. It's gonna be able to. It's like triple the power of the new consoles coming out. So if you're a
That's crazy.
PC master race person, you're looking forward to this stuff. And there's a couple of littler ones for like 3080 for 700 and 3070 for 500. I don't have to tell the PC people this. They know what's coming out.
Right.
So one interesting thing, Super Mario 3D was announced. It's coming out with Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know why. Why do they put Super in front of Mario every time? That's a question. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a.
You can't not just be Mario.
Right? What makes it super?
Extra super.
Anyways, they're re-releasing them in a giant pack because they announced it on the 35th anniversary of Mario, and the cool thing about this is coming out soon. I think it comes out on the 18th of September. $60.
Whoa.
You get all three of them. I have never played Mario Sunshine, so I'm pretty excited about this. But here's the kind of the kick in the pants. It goes away March 31st, 2021. After that, they're not remaking the disc. They're not re-releasing it. So you only have less than a year after that. It's kind of like they're doing the vault thing that Disney does.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't understand. Nintendo always tries to do little different things. I'll probably get it because Super Mario 64, as I know with both you guys, is one of our old favorites. We've probably each spent over 100 hours in that game trying to get to Yoshi.
Tugging some heartstrings.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember the rabbit? Trying to chase the rabbit around?
Trying to catch the freaking rabbit.
Even worse when you would try to jump and hit that wall that would turn into a level. And,
Yeah.
Oh.
and it's every time you would dive for the rabbit and boom, you would end up in a level and there's like a 30-second load screen.
Or what about this freaking pile of turd here? When you're on that desert level and the bird can take your hat away?
That's the level I'm talking
And
about.
you're just
That's the level.
Is it with the rabbit? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just SOL. That's some horse crap.
Oh, the snowman that can knock your helmet, your hat off.
Oh, yeah, I have to go find it out in the snow and stuff. The snow level was great. I love racing the
You
penguin.
know what?
That was
I
one of my favorite
remember
memories.
we were playing it once. Then I left for a couple of weeks. We playing it again. Dakota got on it. This one he was real young, and lost your hat, and we couldn't find it.
I think you're right.
Huh.
I think we ended up just restarting it because we don't know where your hat is.
Yes.
Good times.
Yeah.
Lost that.
Hard to play that
Madden.
game serious.
Madden's getting the reviews out, and it is getting torched. Madden Metacritic for the users is a .02. It
Wow.
is getting destroyed. Now, if you're a Madden fan, you know why. It's the same game as Madden 19, Madden 18, Madden 10, Madden 1999. They don't change anything. It's so money hungry, the stuff they do, microtransaction. But this is so good that the community is finally fighting back and saying no more. It is time for y'all to actually do something. They're getting lazy, and I'm hoping these scores will finally make them do something. And 0-2, I don't that might be the worst reviewed game ever.
Wow. Yeah, so there's
Jeez.
does that mean they all got together and they're like, all right, so not a 01, we'll give it an 0.2. So there's something like it is a game, so I guess it gets it gets an extra point.
I'm thinking because I
point.
think it's like 5,000 reviews so far or something like that. There's that one guy that really liked, like he hasn't played it in like years. Like this is actually a pretty good game. I like it.
Wow, they made football video games. Yeah, and they are kind of painted in a corner. Like it doesn't matter if you made a video game franchise based about foosball or hockey. It's still foosball or hockey. Like it's still football.
Right.
Like they brought in the
It's always
coach
gonna be
aspect.
that.
They brought they are a little limited.
This
But
is where I disagree. It's they're not adding stuff or working on the main feature what everyone likes to play is, which is franchise, where you take over as an owner or a coach, run your career mode, have fun, go through multiple seasons. Everything they add or update is on their, it's called Madden Ultimate Team, and this new yard mode. What's all it is getting you to buy stuff. They want you to buy.
oh,
Every year a new Madden comes out, and people are spending thousands of dollars. Crazy people, but they're spending thousands of dollars on their Ultimate Team because you got to restart every year.
right.
And so they're making so much money off that. So why should we even worry about these other features? But finally, everyone is sick of it, and NFL's not going to put up with it. NFL's already said, like, look, you better fix this, or we'll go to 2K. Those guys can make a game, so 2K does it too with
Yeah.
the basketball games, though. So 2K is not perfect either on this situation. But that's good. As a Madden
Right.
fan, this is exactly what you want. Review bomb. You should go out, put a bad review on it too, and go buy Madden 17 or get it free through EA Access. I ain't got much else, but 2 new games come out besides the one Dakota's playing. Marvel Avengers came out to mixed reviews. The story mode is supposed to be pretty cool, but it's supposed to be lacking in all the other stuff. Now, Tony Hawk's also, which I mentioned, came out to great reviews. Everyone seems to be loving the
Awesome.
nostalgia. From the way the layout is, and you'll be able to see this whenever you get to finally play it,
Find my freaking remote.
I really think they're going to add Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 to it, and because it kind of has sections. Like, oh, you can play Tony Hawk's 1 or 2. I can see them adding for $20. People are loving it. It's great reviews. And that's pretty much it for this week. We're rumors of some Sony press conference coming soon. Xbox has been pretty quiet since Halo dropped off. That's it, guys.
Wow. Well, good.
Right on.
We covered so much last last
Right.
episode stuff.
So it's kind of hard.
We're covering news and what's coming out. So that's still from what came out and just covering the reviews, right? So that's what's next. When something new comes out, people get to do a little fishing and hunting and see how it feels and actually plays out. And it's good to see. Again, same thing with people, pretty much raising hell about cheating on CS:GO, like you mentioned, Dakota, or people raising hell about Madden not stepping it up. Like, I know plenty of people who that's all they own. Like, they'll get a system for Madden. Like, we talk about games, like that's Madden. And I don't play really sport games. I'm okay with sports stuff, but like that's it. Like, they'll just play MLB The Show. They always talk about the freaking, is it 2K or whatever, the basketball one, and then Madden. Like, that's all they own is sport games.
This will be the first year I don't buy a Madden game. I was one of those guys just brain dead to it and buying it every year, spending $60. I'm glad we're finally. The good thing is when people complain, stuff gets fixed. Obviously, sometimes gamers complain about the dumb stuff, but everyone needs to get their voice out there. And review bombing or giving good reviews, having your own podcast, it's good. It does nothing but make games better for everybody. And so keep doing it. Keep reviewing stuff. Keep doing whatever you can to get the words out there. Do you want to talk about the offer we got?
Oh, yes, thank you so much. Because that's what we're going to be talking about next episode. I'm so glad you said that. I have that actually written over here. I didn't even, like, where my hand is like covers it up. So, yes, anyone listening, again, you can find us on Instagram. We got contacted by 511 Games, and they had kind of a premiere of a game coming out through Gamescom, but it's out on Steam right now. It's called Endless Maze, and 511 contacted us and was like, hey guys, y'all are cool, and we're like, you're cool too, and pretty much
What's up?
offered us to play it to review. So we've all pretty much about to start it here after this. And next episode, we're gonna touch on that and give our feelings and feels of Endless Maze by 511. So we appreciate you guys from reaching out to us and giving us this opportunity. That'll be fun. If you know someone, or if you yourself or a developer listening to this, again, find us on Twitter, find us on, or even Twitch now, Instagram or something, and let us know if we could do the same for you. That'd be awesome. We will give our honest opinion.
We're not going to lie unless you give us $3 million each. Then I will lie and tell you how great Madden is.
I will tell everyone in the world. But no, guys, definitely. Total Parency, and we mentioned that to him too. We'll try it out and give our honest reviews from the little trailers you can find again on their 511 Games Instagram account. It looks fun. It looks hard. That's exactly what he said. He's like, this is difficult. It's going to be fun, but the ending has a little, a point to it. So we're all excited to play it. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. So again, thank you 511, or if anyone else listening, again, find us here. All right. So suiting for, I tried to make this based on what we're talking about, I guess, to help everything feng shui as one from beginning to end. So what I've done here is kind of like on one of the last episodes where I myself, in my best verbiage, describe a character. But these are all like horror game bad guys or characters.
Ooh.
Okay.
Miss Pac-Man.
So I've got... Shit, you win.
Yeah.
So I've got 5. I thought so, 5. I could do 6 because there's one I didn't write down. I ran out of space. And I thought we were going to talk about it, and we didn't. So just remind me that we have 6. But coming up first, I'm going to send off descriptions, words, kind of say as I'm the character if you're playing it. I need the name of the game, and I need the name of what it is to a point. You'll understand. Okay. So each question is worth 2 points, guys. I need the name of the game. I need the name of the criminal monster thing, which is itself. We'll see who'll be the winner of this horror game villain description quiz. All right. First, pretty gnarly looking, kind of bony, but not necessarily bony. So that helps. Long tail, kind of slimy, acidy. Don't even have eyes. It's like all senses.
I got it.
The alien from...
Who got it first?
Keep talking.
Keep
talking.
He raised his hand.
Liquor Resident Evil.
Negative.
Alien from Alien Isolation.
Boom. Dakota.
Cheated.
Got 2. Yeah, I was about to say, I was trying not to say black and like extra mouth out of mouth and stuff like that.
The acid got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The liquors aren't bony. They're like muscly. I should have got that.
They're all red. From what I remember, I think they're red. Oh,
yeah, they have like a little little thing on top too.
Yeah.
They're
ugly.
They do. They're freaking
All my
ugly.
guests are going to be Resident Evil. Just be ready for that.
Xenomorphs are so hot. All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy here, he actually represents like your wish to be punished. Plays a lot of mind games on you. Carries around like a long sword. Almost looks like Cloud's like Buster sword, but I mean it's obviously not. Longer. It's got some gnarly headgear on. Kind of some bloody clothing.
It's a Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
It is exactly Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. Dakota's got 4 points. Brandon's got Squat.
What?
Hot and
That's
heavy.
my
Coming
game.
in.
I
Number
brought
3.
up Silent Hill earlier too.
You did. We've mentioned we talked about Isolation too. I was like, oh man, they're gonna be primed and ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, here we go. Number 3. My teeth are kind of exposed. I don't have lips. It's just like a jaw and like a mouth out there. A big ass dude. If I was a bouncer, you're not getting in.
Nemesis 3.
Okay, there you go. Say the name. All right.
I was on it. I was about to do it. Dang.
Brandon rolling in with 2 points. Dakota staying steady and heavy at 4. Next. This guy kind of represents like deep kind of some deep sound and tone coming from him. You never see his face, partially because he's covered up. They have one name, but there's a couple different versions of them to a point. He'd be good at drilling or working on stuff. He's also
Big Daddy from BioShock?
Big Daddy from BioShock. Exactly right. Brandon. Dakota's got 6. Brandon's got 2. We got 2
different
more
series.
left.
I really don't consider
remember there
it
is
horror
different series.
games. I wasn't thinking that.
Yes, and Dakota actually brought that up too, which kind of reinforces my reason of putting it on here because it is slightly scary.
It does have horror elements, so I'm not disagreeing with you. That was really good for Dakota to get that one.
Okay, so these last 2 here, and it's hard to find like a distinct character because there's plenty of games I looked into, and it's like they're just like there's lots of monsters or bad guys. They're like Bloodborne has a lot of different bad guys, and I don't know too much about those to pick a certain one that I know everyone would know. All right, these next 2 are going to be teensy bit difficulty, so give your balls a tug and get ready. All right, so this bad person in this game is she is young. She's a bit of a cannibal also, and bullets don't do squat to her.
Condemned.
I don't know her name.
Long black hair. Give me the name.
I don't know her name. It's from
Give me
Fear.
the name of the game. Yes,
Fear.
Fear's right.
It's Fear.
I didn't know her name until I looked this up.
Angelica.
Close.
Oh, as
Really?
you guessed.
What's her name?
Alma.
How is that close?
Angelica's an
Hey,
A.
give me a point.
Angelica.
Give me
Alma.
that point.
We get 1 point each.
Brandon's got 1. Dakota's
I
got
already
1
lost it. Give me
from
the
that
point.
too. So Brandon's 3, Dakota's 7. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
Close enough.
All right, Brandon.
It's,
Don't give
2
up.
cups, of, 2 things of creamer, 1 sugar.
Oh,
I walked into that
nice, Daddy. All right, last one
one.
here.
Inky.
So Inky, what?
Isn't that Inky in the Bendy? Dang it! At least I can get the name right.
Oh, from the no.
I sound like
Gotcha.
it.
Okay, this is I don't. Okay, I know of it. I didn't know the person doesn't have a name, so we just need the name of the game. I am like wearing no clothes. I'm like kind of a monster thing. My mouth is like jaw broken wide open, kind of scary. When you play this game, you're trying not to like lose your mind pretty much. It's been around for a while. It is on PC.
Amnesia.
Yes. Good job.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
Now you only get 1 sugar.
Amnesia's
Nice.
great.
You only get 1 sugar now.
Okay, 1 sugar.
Very good, very good. So we had Nemesis from Resident Evil, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, Alien or Xenomorph from Alien Isolation, Big Daddy from BioShock, Miss Alma from Fear, and whatever faceless jaw weirdo from Amnesia is from, which is one I forgot I was going to talk about that, but I want to save it for the quiz here because that's a crazy ass game too. But
Amnesia's really good.
all right, guys, we tackled a lot here on the horror aspects. Be sure to tune in next episode 6. Another hot and heavy quiz and topic coming for you. We've tossed around some ideas. We'll save it, but do know that we're going to be giving our review for Endless Maze from 511 Games. Guys, any words of peace to say before we skedaddle?
Don't forget to send us an email, man. Tell us your favorite scary game. Tell us what you want to know about. Be like Mario. Give us a subject. We'll talk about it. We're down for anything. It's our name at Gmail. That's all it is.
Yeah, simple enough for everybody.
Right on.
All right, guys.
Yeah, thank y'all for listening in. 511, thank y'all so much for letting out to us. Yeah, go play some horror games, guys. Go get scared and tell us all about it.
Yeah, go get scared. Live life, man. All right, we'll catch y'all again next week with episode 6. Hasta luego.
Smoochy boochies.
Deuces.